Just like the last video, these interviews are from people I met at K-Life. I hope you find something that you may have been missing, something that could offer you peace or encourage you.
What's your name?
Maya Bills.
Maya, how old are you?
I'm 20.
20. So in your 20 years, what would you say is the most valuable lesson you've learned so far?
The most valuable lesson I've learned so far is to be patient, and when you're patient, good things will come, and to not rush anything. Because me being 20, I definitely wish that I didn't rush half the stuff that I rushed, but always be patient.
Thank you. What's your name?
Deanna Rhodes.
How old are you?
I'm 17.
So 17. Okay. What's the most valuable lesson you've learned so far?
So far, the most valuable lesson I have learned is self-love is the best love.
What are some things that help you with self-love, like to love yourself?
Well, some things that help me love myself, I always put myself forward. I always got myself in the long run. I came to this world by myself, so I'm going to leave by myself. So I feel like if you put yourself first in certain situations, then the situation should be much better.
You think if you always put yourself first, then like that's a good example of self-love?
Well, not really. In certain situations, it can be a form of like, what should I say, being self-censored or making the world evolve around you. So I wouldn't say like it's self-love in certain ways is useful, and then it's like a lot of pros and cons to self-love. But to me, self-love is the best love, because putting people before you, a lot of times, it can be very toxic and really horrible. So I feel like loving yourself first before you're trying to do and need for everybody else, you definitely should love yourself first.
What's the biggest pro from self-love?
If you love yourself first, everything will be positive. I feel like a lot of good actions and things come out of having self-love. And some kinds of self-love, you can think everything revolves around you. You can play victim a lot. So I feel like certain situations should have self-love and certain situations are needed for self-love.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Boom!
What's your name?
Rayo.
What's your age?
1900.
What's the most valuable lesson you learned in your lifetime?
When you take a loss, it's a loss. You're going to gain from it. You're going to learn from it. Just know next time you're going to be prepared to win.
Thank you.
All right, what's your name?
Twin,
Twin. How old are you?
19.
So out of your 19 years, what would you say is the most valuable lesson you've learned so far?
The most valuable lesson I've learned so far is to keep your faith in God and just keep pushing no matter what. And how many obstacles may come your way, you might want to give up, but just don't, because it's always something special waiting for you at the finish line.
What was the last thing that like what was that last special thing that you experienced?
I would say like within basketball, I'm in college, I'm a sophomore, and like my freshman year, I had a lot of obstacles to go through. Like I lost a lot, and I never lost that much in my life. So it's like building me mentally for the future and to become more of a leader on the court and off the court within life.
I like that. Okay, man, what's your name? Sorry, Sissy, what's your name? Nakia, how old are you?
20.
20. So out of your 20 years, what would you say is the most valuable lesson you've learned so far?
One of the things I would say is not everything needs a response, or no response is a response. And then I would say, dang, I just had it was on the tip of my tongue. I don't know. I feel like everybody handles stuff differently, and you gotta for you to actually be clean, you gotta clean yourself from the inside out. Like the outer appearance don't matter, you gotta do it from the inside out.
What helped you learn that?
You said what helped? K-Life helped a lot. Reading helped a lot, and just experiences in life.
Thank you.
And growing.
Learning and growing?
Yeah.
Thank you. What's your name?
Christine Johnson.
Okay, Christine, how old are you?
I am 19.
So 19, that means you've been alive for 19 years?
About, yeah, you can say that.
Just about?
Yeah.
Does it feel like longer?
A little bit.
Okay. Well, I hope you continue and you get to be an old woman one day. Maybe 60, 70 years old. That's scary, but it's okay. Well, what's the most valuable lesson you've learned so far?
I feel like one of the most valuable questions like so far is like actually just listening to like myself or like doing what I want to do for as like not following people or just being my own leader and things like that. So yeah.
What do you think helps you to be your own leader and not to follow other people?
Being around leaders. Being around like good leaders, like the right type of leaders, you know? So yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What's your name?
My name is Sean Johnson,
Sean Johnson. How old are you?
21.
21. So, I mean, you've been alive for 21 years. What would you say is the most valuable lesson you've learned in those 21 years?
Patience is the key to success.
What helped you learn that?
Basically just like talking to different people and learning different things from them and seeing that how long it took them to get where they was.
Okay.
And they just been patient.
Thank you. What's your name?
Misha or Denisha. Well, Denisha, short for, hold on.
Nisha?
Yeah, they call me Nisha.
Okay. How old are you?
25.
25. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
What would you say is the most valuable lesson you've learned in your 25 years?
Yeah, it's kind of gonna sound pretty cheesy, but it's kind of simple. Just love God and love others. Honestly, just because once you love people for real, everything else just figures itself out. Once you love God for real, everything else is gonna figure itself out. So.
It's easier said than done. I struggle with loving people. So how would you? Like, what's a tip or advice you would give for someone who's trying to learn how to love?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think I always go back to knowing that life is really hard, not just for me, but life is hard for everybody, and life is even hard for Jesus. And it says that, he offered up loud cries to God, to the one who's able to save him often, just because life is so hard. And so once you're really empathetic to where people are and just know that they are hurting, no matter what they're doing, wherever they are in life, they're always going to be hurting. And so we just, honestly, to love them is much easier when you know that they are not perfect, but that they're hurting, and that whatever is happening or whatever happens to you is just because it's a really broken world.
We do live in a broken world, full of pain, death, and confusion, but it's also full of love, life, and justice. With it being the beginning of a new year, let's try to sow seeds that will yield healthier crops. Let's remember the power that God gave us. Let's not take things too personal and remember, hurt people hurt people. One of the most important questions you need to ask yourself is, am I loving others like myself? Am I treating others how I want to be treated? If you're not, why? Stay patient and faithful. Keep putting in the work. As always, thanks for watching. Hallelujah, gang, gang.